The McBee family is no stranger to drama, but this time it's not farm operations or family rivalries making headlines. It's a prenuptial agreement. Viewers of the McBee Dynasty have been buzzing ever since Jesse McBee and Alli Ventresca's relationship turned from longtime partners to husband and wife. The couple's journey has been closely followed by fans of the series. Jesse's surprise proposal was a standout moment in Season 1, catching Alli completely off guard during what she thought would be just another fun day together. By Season 2, cameras were rolling as the two prepared for a wedding episode that pulled at heartstrings. Since then, life has only grown sweeter for the pair, with the birth of their baby girl cementing their new chapter. But happiness on screen doesn't mean questions stop off screen, and the big one on fans' minds: why did Jesse and Alli need a prenup at all? Why the prenup sparked debate. According to the show, Jesse hesitated before asking Alli to sign a prenuptial agreement. It wasn't a conversation he wanted to have, but with millions on the line and his siblings involved in family assets, he eventually put the paperwork on the table. The document was signed, but that didn't stop fans from weighing in. To many, the decision felt unnecessary. After all, Alli and Jesse have been together for years, and as viewers pointed out, trust should already be a foundation in their marriage. On top of that, Alli isn't financially dependent on Jesse. She has built a career as a successful APRN, meaning she brings in her own income. For some fans, asking her to sign came across as insulting. Alli has more than proven she's not with Jesse for the money, one viewer noted online, echoing a sentiment shared widely across fan discussions. Two sides to the story. Not everyone saw the prenup as an attack on trust. Some argued it could actually serve both parties, protecting Jesse's stake in the family farm while shielding Alli from any financial fallout tied to business debts. Yes, they absolutely should have a prenup. Being together for 12 years means nothing. The divorce rate is high. They have a family business to protect. It makes sense, one fan insisted. Another took it further, suggesting that the real safeguard might actually be for Alli. Makes more sense for her to be protected, in my opinion, especially with all the debts the businesses have. And in true internet fashion, some comments brought a mix of humor and cynicism to the table. Alli is the one who needs a prenuptial to protect her from these criminals. More than just paperwork. What's clear is that the McBee Dynasty has once again sparked a conversation larger than the show itself. For some, a prenup is a sign of caution and practicality, while for others, it's a crack in the foundation of trust. For Jesse and Alli, however, life seems to be moving forward happily, baby in tow and family business still standing. Whether fans love or hate the prenup, it has undeniably become part of the McBee story and given viewers one more thing to passionately debate. Be sure to catch up on everything happening on the McBee Dynasty right now. Come back here often for all the McBee Dynasty's news and updates. The sun was setting over the rolling Missouri hills, casting a golden glow across the vast acres of the McBee family farm. The rows of soybeans stretched like tidy green soldiers, and in the distance, the old windmill creaked in time with the summer breeze. But inside the farmhouse, tension was thick as molasses. Jesse McBee paced the length of the kitchen, papers in hand, every so often glancing out the window at the long gravel driveway. His brothers had told him to do it. His mother had gently insisted. His father had only grunted, classic Glenn McBee, but even that grunt carried weight. He couldn't avoid it anymore. Today, he was asking Alli Ventresca, the love of his life, to sign a prenuptial agreement. The story of Jesse and Alli was one known to most viewers of the McBee Dynasty, the hit reality show that turned family drama, farming, and unexpected romance into must-see TV. They met at a county fair 12 years ago. Jesse was showing livestock. Alli was judging the 4-H competitions as a volunteer while attending nursing school. He offered her a deep-fried Twinkie. She said she didn't eat nuclear waste on a stick. He laughed. She didn't. That was the start. By season 1 of the show, their relationship was already a familiar subplot. A calming contrast to the chaos of inheritance battles, crop insurance disputes, and a tractor fire that nearly took out the West barn. Alli was the steady presence, the one with kind eyes and sharper opinions. Fans adored her. When Jesse proposed in the middle of a sunflower field, camera crew hiding in hay bales, it wasn't just Alli who gasped. Viewers across America held their breath, watching a McBee man do something unexpectedly tender. She said yes, with tears in her eyes. And now, here he was, sweating over a prenup. The paper itself wasn't long. B&B, clean font, no nonsense language. It laid out what would happen in the case of divorce. It detailed Jesse's inherited stake in McBee Farming Enterprises, the shared liabilities, and a clause about future inheritance from the McBee patriarch. It wasn't just about money. It was about legacy and fear, because Jesse had seen what love gone sour looked like. He'd seen it in his cousin's messy divorce, where half of a dairy operation had to be sold just to split assets. He'd seen it in a neighbor who lost everything because the paperwork hadn't been clear, and he'd seen it in his own house between his parents, who now barely spoke except about soil quality. But Alli wasn't like that. She never had been. She came through the door that evening, a little breathless, her scrub still on, baby spit up dotting her shoulder like a badge of honor. Jesse met her in the living room. The envelope trembled in his hand. "Hey, babe," she said, kissing his cheek. "Everything okay?" And there it was, the moment he could chicken out, throw the papers in the fire, pretend none of it mattered. But something inside him, a mixture of fear, pride, and duty, held firm. "I need to talk to you," he said. "About the prenup." She froze, then blinked. Seriously, her voice wasn't angry, just confused. The episode where this moment aired sent shockwaves through the fan base. The camera had been set up for what producers hoped would be a romantic fireside dinner. Instead, they captured a conversation that felt raw, real, and perhaps unintentionally controversial. "You think I'm after your family's money?" Alli asked on camera, one eyebrow arched so sharply it could cut glass. "It's not about that," Jesse replied, eyes downcast. "It's about protecting what's been built, for my siblings, for our daughter, for us." The silence after that line lasted a full 12 seconds on air, a lifetime in television. The scene cut to commercial with a dramatic swell of music. Behind the scenes, Alli did sign it, but not before making a few edits. She included protections for herself, language that clarified she wouldn't be liable for McBee business debts, that her medical practice and earnings were hers alone. She added a clause that guaranteed mediation before any legal action if things ever went south. And, most importantly, she added a handwritten note at the end. "This agreement protects our past, but our future will be built on trust, not contracts." Jesse signed it with a shaky hand, kissed her forehead, and said, "That's why I love you. You don't need me, but you choose me anyway." What happened next was both predictable and surreal. Fans erupted online. Team Alli and Team Jesse trended on social media. Some were furious Jesse had asked at all, calling it a betrayal of the ride-or-die narrative the show had nurtured. Alli's been with him through crop failures, lawsuits, and literal tornadoes. And now he wants a prenup. One fan posted, racking up 12,000 likes. Others praised the couple's maturity. This is what love actually looks like. Not fairy tales, hard talks, real trust, protection, communication. Even legal experts weighed in. Daytime talk shows debated the ethics of prenups. Country music stations played a parody song called "Signed, Sealed, Still Yours." And then the baby arrived. Little Maisie Jane McBee, all 10 fingers and toes, born just as the winter wheat was starting to sprout. The cameras caught Jessie holding her for the first time, whispering something about how she'd never have to worry. Alli, exhausted but glowing, looked at him and said, "This is what matters. No paperwork could touch that." The McBee Dynasty rolled on, of course. New scandals came. A surprise cousin appeared from Texas claiming a share of the land. A silo collapse nearly derailed planting season. And Jess's younger brother tried, and failed, to launch a McBee branded whiskey. But through it all, Jessie and Alli stood strong. Not because they had a prenup. Not in spite of it. But because they had walked through fire together and come out forged. Sometimes love isn't about grand gestures or avoiding hard talks. Sometimes it's about signing on the dotted line, looking your partner in the eye, and saying, "We've got this, whatever comes." And so the McBee story continues. Love, land, legacy, and just a little legalese. Tune in next season for more secrets, surprises, and sunrises over Missouri. Because in the world of the McBee Dynasty, even the paperwork has a plot twist.